Hey, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can highlight cells based on if the number within that cell is equals to zero, greater than zero, or lesser than zero. So my example right here, I've got my expense table with my budget and actual, and then as well, it's calculating the difference between the budget and actual for different expense categories. So this is a great way to highlight in case you want to specifically see numbers that are greater than zero, which is great if you want to see like specifically days that have income coming in with them. Maybe you want to see sales that are greater than zero. You want to highlight those specific cells, or if you're just tracking your progress. We're also going to be highlighting our cells if it's zero. So this might be especially important for you if you're tracking your daily sales and you want to see if there's any days that are 0 days, then you'll definitely want to highlight those. And then we're also going to highlight anything that's negative or less than zero, in case we see that our expenses, maybe that we overspent and our budget is in the negative. We want to keep an eye on that. So there's some good reasons why we want to highlight this data and get that information. So I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. One is where we're going to highlight just the cell with the number in it. And then the other version is where we highlight the entire row. So let's do the single cells first. So I'm going to select this, the range of cells where I want to highlight in case it's greater than zero, zero, or lesser than zero. So I'm going to select my difference here. I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting. And now under Format Rules, I'm going to select greater than. So you've got a few different options here. So you've got greater than, or equal to. Then you've got lesser than, less than, or equals to. So you've got those two different options between there. And then you can also do is equal to, is not equal to, is between, is not between. So you got a few different options here, but we're only going to do our three here, which is our greater than, our zero, or sorry, our equals, and then our lesser than. So to do greater than, I'm going to select greater than, and then under in the area where you can put value or formula, you're going to put a 0. And then you're going to choose your color. So you can format it however you want. This one, I'm just going to highlight the background. I do like a green because it's letting me know, especially for this option right here, that, hey, we still have money to spend because we didn't overspend our budget. So I like to highlight that in green because that's a good thing to know. Hey, I still have a little bit of extra money to spend. So I'm going to highlight this in this green. You can also format it as you want, whether you want to bold it, italicize it, underline, strike through, change the color of the text, up to you. You can format it however you want, but once you're done, click done, and there you go. So anytime that this is, let's say I'm going to change this to 35 or 36, it will automatically highlight when the difference is above 0. So now what we want to do is select the same range again. If you don't have this sidebar already open, don't forget, you could just go to Format, Conditional Formatting. Then we're going to add another rule. And so again, under Format Rules, I'm going to select is equal to, because this one we're going to highlight anything that is a 0. So I'm going to do is equal to, and then I'm going to put 0. And as you can see, there's only one and it's automatically highlighting it. So I'm just going to choose a fill color, and I'm going to do this about yellow because I wanted to say, hey, a little bit of a warning, we're at 0. We've actually spent what we have in our budget, but we haven't gone into overdraft yet, or we haven't overspent yet. So I'm just going to choose a yellow for that. And maybe I'll do a little bit brighter of a yellow. There we go. And click done. So as you can see, anything that's a 0 will automatically highlight. And then again, with my entire range selected, I'm just going to add another rule while we're here. And then I'm going to select Format Rules. I'm going to go to less than, and I'm going to say 0. So anything less than 0, I want to highlight, and I'm going to do this in a red. So maybe I'll make it this bright red so it really stands out, and click done. So now I can get out of my little sidebar, and you can see I can automatically see where I'm overspending, where I've actually spent my entire budget, and where I actually have money left. So this is a great visual to actually see, hey, like what's going on here? Like, where do I have money? Where did I overspend? What do I need to fix in my budget? So that is the options there. But now I'm going to show you, let me just get rid of this formatting. And I'm going to show you how to highlight the entire row instead. So what you want to do is select the entire range of cells that you want to highlight. So if I'm doing the entire row, I want to make sure I select the very first cell all the way to the bottom right last cell. So that way it's going to highlight the entire of the columns. So I have 4 columns. I want all 4 columns to be highlighted as well as each row. So I've selected that entire row. I'm going to go to Format, Conditional Formatting, and then I'm going to choose under Format Rules, I'm going to choose Custom Formula Is, and I'm going to do equals, and I'm going to do $F. So I want to basically start in the very first cell that has my first number with it that I want to highlight for. So my first difference is going to be an F. Let me just move that thing. There we go. F4. So I'm going to put a $sign in front of the F. So equals $F4. And then I need to make sure that this one is going to say that it's above 0. So I'm going to put the greater than and then 0. So it's going to highlight, as you can see right now, it's highlighting any row where the difference of the number is higher than 0. So again, I'm going to choose some colors. Let me choose a nice green for this. Perfect. And then what I can actually do right here is I can click add another rule. So again, it's already got my range selected. And what I need to just do now is edit my formula here, because instead of saying that it's greater than 0, I want to do that it's equal to 0. So now we're going to highlight what's equal to 0. Again, my cell reference right here where it says the $sign F4 is referencing the very first cell within my range where my difference is. So right here is my first cell of the difference number that I want to highlight, or I'm basing off of compared to 0. So that is F4. So I'm just making sure I have my $sign in front of the F, or in front of your column, and then 4. And what that allows, because we're putting the $sign in there, it's locking in that specific column, but with the $sign missing from the 4, so we don't have a $sign between the F and the 4, it just allows that rule to actually go down to all the different rows below it as well. So that's why we have the $sign only in front of the column and not the row. So anyways, this one is equals $sign F4 equals 0. So anything that equals 0, we're going to highlight this in a yellow. So again, it's giving us a warning. And then now I can click another rule. If you're done, you can click done, but I do add my last rule, which is my below 0. So again, the range is already selected. I'm going to come here and I'm going to edit the formula, and I'm going to put in my lesser than. So anything that is lesser than 0, it's going to highlight. And again, I'm just going to change the fill color to be this red. And there you go. Actually, I might not make it as bright. Might do that one. There we go. And click done now. So I've got my 3 rules here. I'm just going to get out of that sidebar. And as you can see, it automatically highlights every single row that has a different category in it. And it's letting me know which one is above 0, which is 0, and which one is below 0. So I love that. That looks great. And I'm just going to show you another example, because it's always good to get examples of where you can use this. So we did this one with our expense table, but I'm going to show you a daily sales table. And this is actually a freebie, so I am going to link it below if you do want to get this. This is my daily sales tracker. So if you want to track the daily sales within your business, this is a great way to do it. And as you can see, we have our calendar here. And I want to highlight all the different cells that are 0, because I want to know my 0 days. So again, like we talked about over here, where we just want to highlight where it says 0, is a great place to track your daily sales. Because if we have a 0 sales day, we can start thinking about our business. Hey, okay, like how can I make more money? How can I make sure that I'm making money every single day? So it gets your brain thinking. So this is a great visual to do it. So I'm going to highlight the cells where I want to apply this conditional formatting to, because again, I want to highlight any days that are 0. So I'm just going to select the entire range. So I'm selecting the first range. If you want to select multiple ranges, you're going to use, on a Mac, you're going to use the Command and the Shift button. So I use the Command button to select this cell, and then I'm holding the Command and the Shift button to grab the last cell of that range. On a PC, you're going to use the Control and then the Shift button. So again, I'm just using Command or Control, and then Command/Control Shift to grab the rest of the range. So I'm just selecting my ranges here. You might need to practice that a little bit, because it does take some getting used to. Let me just move the head out of the way. I just want to grab the last range. There you go. So I'm going to go Format, Conditional Formatting, If you were like, oh, that was a little bit of annoying to do, if you're selecting multiple ranges, you can also, what you can also do, I'll show you a little trick here. Let me get out of there. Cancel. There we go. Let me get out of there and let me open up this again. So if you don't want to select all those different ranges, what you could do is just go to Format, Conditional Formatting. It's going to open up a brand new rule. And then you can actually click on Select Data Range, and you can select individual ranges here. So I can select that one, holding my Shift key, grabbing to the very end of that, add another range. So if that whole shortcut where I was showing you the keyboard keys to use, if that's a little bit too confusing, that's okay. You could just come here and individually add each of the range of cells as well. So that's no worries. Again, let me just move my head out of the way and select that one. And then I'm going to grab the last one and click OK. So as you can see, all those are highlighting right now because I don't have my rule yet, but I want to, under Format Rules, just go to is equal to 0. And as you can see, it's going to highlight anything that is 0. And remember, because this is our daily sales tracker, I know that 0 is a negative number for me because I want to make sure I'm making sales every single day. So if I see a 0, that is a little bit of an issue for me. I want to start thinking about how to make more sales for that day. So I am going to highlight it in red to let me know, hey, warning. So remember, when you are highlighting or you're using highlights to pull out different visual information in your spreadsheet, you want to match up the highlighting to match what works for your numbers. So for this example, a 0 is negative to me. Sometimes if there might be other times where like a 0 is a positive or maybe a negative is a positive. So you just want to consider that when you are creating or when you are highlighting different data within your spreadsheets, is what does the information mean? Is it a positive? Then you want to give it more of a positive color. You can also, like, you don't have to do green, yellow, and red. You can also match with whatever color. Like I can match this up with my pink here if I wanted to within the spreadsheet. I could do that as well, or I could do my lighter pink to like give me that. But you want the visual to be easy to see and understand, be like, oh, green is a good thing. Oh, red, oh, that's like kind of like a warning color, or more of like, hey, like there's an issue here, we need to think about it. Yellow might be more of a warning, like, hey, you're getting close to the danger line, which would be red. So you just want to think about that when you are creating your highlights, what works for your spreadsheet. So I'm just going to change this to my red, and then, ooh, that's like a pinky red. Let's get this one. There we go. And then now anytime there is a day with 0 sales, it will all automatically highlight so I can see, hey, I made money on this day. Oh, look, I didn't make money here. So like, how can I make it easier for my business to make money every day? And then I could also on this spreadsheet is highlight anything that's above 0 so I can be positive as well, because we don't always just want the negative. We want to look and be like, hey, I had all these days with sales in them. So maybe I would create a highlight for these days where anything above 0, it will give me a certain color. So I can visually see, oh, look, I'm making a lot of money. I'm quite happy. So we don't always want just the negatives, and we don't always just want the positives. We want a mixture of both because that gives us the best data to really understand what our position is and for whatever we're tracking. But yeah, this is a freebie. If you do want it, I will link it below so you could track your daily sales for your shop. But that is everything for the video. If you have any questions about this at all, let me know. If not, I will see you in the next tutorial. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.